So many people that go into the gym have the intention to get bigger and build more muscle. Well, there's a few specific exercises that can help give you that bigger appearance. We're going to discuss 3 of those today, right now. Hey everyone, welcome to Science-Based Fitness. My name's Adam, and if you're new here, I like to use my degree in exercise science to help you guys better understand different fitness topics. It's no secret that building muscle can be challenging. What might be a good advantage for you is if you focus on muscle groups that are going to give you a bigger appearance. Now, of course, I'm not the biggest person, but you can still use these tricks, and they're tricks that I've used. I always had a very narrow and skinny, small frame, and you can see these pictures of me when I was younger. And using some of these tricks can help you better improve the current exercises you're doing and maybe save you a little bit of time in the long run and help you achieve your goal a little bit faster. Now, which muscle groups are we talking about? The first is going to be shoulders, and as I explain why I've modified or chosen specific exercises, we're going to go through my checklist one by one to make sure all these exercises have the appropriate criteria. So first exercise is a modified side raise. The deltoids can give you such a bigger and wider appearance, so crushing these lateral delts is huge. But a standard side raise like this isn't very effective, and let me explain why. When we do this side raise, the least amount of tension is at the bottom of the lift. And the first thing on our checklist is tension in the stretched position. Dumbbells don't provide this. We don't have the most amount of tension until we get to the top of our lift, which is actually the least optimal portion for hypertrophy. So we're going to come over here to a cable machine, and there's a few different ways we can do this movement. And this cable side raise can be a stepping stone for multiple variations. I'm not going to overcomplicate it here. We're going to do a standard lateral raise on a cable. We're going to adjust this cable machine to about knee height. Now if we just do a standard side raise, we've gotten a greater amount of tension at the bottom of the lift. But the way I like to do this is leaning out, holding on to the cable machine. This creates more rigidity and stability, and it allows you to focus on that desired muscle a little bit more while limiting the amount of core activation. Our checklist also has a stable movement. You can see as I do this movement, I'm not rushing through it. The control of the eccentric portion of the lift can play an important role in hypertrophy. So all 3 of these exercises, or any exercises you're doing for hypertrophy, it's not a bad idea to pace your eccentric lift for 2 to 4 seconds. I'll link a video at the end on eccentric phases being good for hypertrophy if you guys want to watch that. And that's another component on our checklist. And when it comes to the rep range, 5 to 20 is probably ideal. I again recently just made a video on this topic. I'll link that one at the end as well. But as long as we're pushing close to failure, and that's another check on this list, the ability to push to failure. And that's our first movement for the shoulders. Moving on, next is going to be chest. There's a ton of movements we can focus on for chest, and I want to focus on an incline chest press. This is going to allow us to hit more of the clavicular head of our pec and give us that more shelf look to our chest. But we're not going to do this with a barbell like you can see here. And the reason is that the bar stops right here. When we do this with dumbbells, we can get a deeper stretch like this. This adds more tension at the bottom of the lift while the muscle is stretched. And as we know, this is already on our checklist. The one thing that might be a slight knock on this is that dumbbells might be a little bit less stable. And that's true, but it's not like we're doing this on an exercise ball. We're doing it on a fixed bench, and I still think overall it's pretty stable. And again, this is another movement we're gonna push close to failure while controlling that eccentric portion of the lift, like you can see me doing here. I think it's important to note that these aren't the only exercises you have to do, but these are exercises that if you start mixing in to your routine for shoulders, for chest, and last one's gonna be for arms, then you might be seeing better and better improvements. So you guys got that for chest? All right, good. Let's move on to arms. For arms here, we could have went with biceps or triceps, but I decided we're gonna go with biceps. Triceps are good. I'd love to hear you guys' opinions on which one gives you a bigger appearance or what you think gives a bigger appearance, but I feel like most people notice the biceps first. And the movement here is gonna be a Beijing Bicep Curl. This is a movement I started mixing in about a year ago, and I think it's great because it hits all of our check marks and all the criteria. We're gonna do this on the cable machine where I lower the cables about to knee height. Using the D handles here, we're gonna face away from the cable machine. We're gonna take a step forward and maintain a slight forward lean. You can see me do this curl about to my chest height. As I control that eccentric all the way down, we have a good stretch at the bottom of this lift. If we compare this to just a standard bicep curl, we have very little tension at the bottom of this lift. So this movement hits that check mark for the tension in the stretch position. In like most bicep exercises, we can push to failure, so we get that check mark. This is a very stable movement, and of course we can control the eccentric. Sometimes you'll see this done with a forward lean. I try not to teach this initially because in my experience, people take advantage of that forward lean to kind of take over the control, and this kind of takes away from the stimulus to the biceps. Like I said before, those aren't the only movements you should be doing for these muscle groups, but if you use that checklist that I gave you, you'll have a better understanding on how to improve specific exercises for muscle growth. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you thought of these 3 exercises. Should I expand this and do more? Let me know in the comments. That video on the eccentrics is right up here, video on rep ranges right down here. Click the like button, subscribe button, you know the buttons, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Have a good day.